Hello, everybody. It is me, Demetra K, and I hope that you are having a great day. The purpose of the Demetra K show is to promote Black love, knowledge, and understanding of all things that go on in the Black community to make us an even better people with the emphasis on even because we're great people, but we can always strive to do better. Like I said, Big Giant, thank you, hello, and welcome to YouTube and Facebook. You are the other side of the conversation. Like I said, Big Giant, thank you to my moderators as you are the best to ever do it. Thank you for everything that you do in holding the comment section down. I should say that we are going to be talking about Democrat Shill being upset about Black D.C. residents thanking Trump for taking over. Now, we've been talking about this the last couple of days as it is still kind of trending, right? So I'm learning a lot more about what's going on in Washington, D.C. I do not live there, so I have to, kind of hear from the people who do. So we're going to have a very interesting conversation because on one hand, you hear a lot of people saying, Trump is bad for what he's doing. And trust me, I believe there's some other nefarious reasons as to why he's doing it. But there's a lot of people there that's like, we're not mad, right? Why are you guys that don't live here butting in our business? So I'm going to show you a compilation of videos that I found and kind of put together. And then you're going to hear from this Democrat Shill. You guys know him. He's called the Defiant Lawyer, Augustus Corbett. I think that's how you say his name. And he's often railing against that of people who are not like him. And that's a Democrat. So anyway, let's give everybody another moment to come on here. And then we'll go ahead and get started. African Native, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Mike Nice in the building. Hope you're doing great. And today is our Friday, even though it's Thursday, because I'm not here on Friday or Saturday unless something major is jumped off and I need to get on here. Vovo, how you doing? Brother Don, triple OG moderator, hope you're doing well. Mia, how you doing? And Laura, what's going on with you? I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Wavy McFly, what is up with you? J&M, I hope you're having a great day. S. Williams in the building. Brother Reggie, all the way from Japan. Kevin, how you doing? Troy, what's up? Don Royal, Monique. There's a lot of y'all on here today. Anthony, what's going on with you? Thank you. I appreciate that. And did I say hello, Michelle? If not, hello. And DeAndre and the real Aaron. Is that what it is? Because y'all names are kind of like smashed together. And Mad Dog. All right. So let's give everybody just another moment or two. Pam is jamming. How you doing? I went to the dentist today. Not that you guys care, but I went to the dentist. And I would say this particular dentist, they've done the best job that I've ever had done to my teeth. I just got a cleaning ever, right? She took like an hour to clean my teeth. And I'm like, okay, this is pretty cool. And then of course, when the dentist comes, she looks at the x-ray. She goes, you have no cavities. I'm like, yeah, I don't really struggle in that area at all. And all of that. She says, whatever you're doing, keep it up. Like, not much. So anyway, who else? Juggernaut, what's going on? Mahalia, how you doing? Steven, King Charles, and Synovia. Okay, let's go ahead and get into it. So, as you guys know, President Donald Trump has decided to federalize the Washington, D.C.'s police department, which means that he is taking it over per that of Home Rule Act 740, which means under special circumstances, he could do that, right? Now, he's saying the special circumstances are crime is out of control in D.C. there. Now, of course, statistics say, well, that's not true. Actually, crime is, well, I don't want to say it's not out of control, but statistics saying that crime has dropped. It's at like a 30-year low to the tune of about 35%. That's how much it's dropped. So they're saying there's some improvement. However, a lot of people who live there is like, okay, it's improved, but that don't mean it's gone away, right? So, of course, there's talking points that's all over the place, especially people who are Democrats are like, oh, this is terrible. He's going to go in here and do this, that, the other. Listen, I'm not saying it's great, right? But I don't live there. So I don't really have an opinion, right? I believe, Trump is maybe trying to distract from something. It's a smoke screen or something. Probably probably part of his larger plan of taking over these inner cities and things like that. He wants to take over the world, so that's nothing new, right? But a lot of these Democrats are saying, well, this is not good. He needs to be stopped and things like that. Now, of course, over the last couple of days, we've been talking about the Democrats being in control. Well, they were. Biden was in office, like in any other place, right? Because the mayor, I believe she's a Democrat there, and most inner cities are ran by Democrats, and most of them are Black. So it's like, why haven't they done anything about the crime, right? I don't know if they want us to believe it's not really that bad, even though people who live there say, nah, it is, right? So I'm going to show y'all a compilation of videos that I put together. It's about 3 minutes long. So bear with me and pay attention. So the first part of it, you're going to see a compilation of people that I found saying, wait a minute, we don't mind that Trump is coming in here. And then you're going to hear from the Shill. Here we go.
Now y'all mad at Trump for cleaning up D.C., cleaning up the nation's capital. And I think it's crazy, especially if you're a DMV native. When we go out and do things, we typically go to D.C. We all have seen some BS in D.C. I've lost friends to gun violence in D.C. I've been out partying and heard gunshots in D.C. Then you go somewhere like the Wharf to the Felipe Chow and people getting robbed at Felipe Chow. And I can continue, but I ain't really trying to go there today. But it ain't safe.
Bruh, like y'all do not know. Y'all out of towners, Mo. Mind y'all business, bruh. 4 infants got killed in a month. This shootings every day. Contacting every day. The city is wild right now, bruh. And it might say it's the lowest it's ever been. That's because these niggas is not getting caught. There's so much going on. Y'all don't even know, bruh.
Man, the city is crazy. Yes, we got the National Guard. But y'all really that upset? I'm not. Can I tell you why? I've been to multiple funerals in the last year. Multiple. I have a personal friend of mine who lost her daughter to gun violence. She was 3 years old. You think I'm mad? I'm more mad that she got killed than I am at Trump. See, y'all pick and choose what y'all want to be mad at. But when them little ass boys was outside shooting up neighborhoods and all of these little kids was getting killed, I ain't see all this anger.
So Donald J. Trump decided to call in the National Guards and national and federalized police to help with the crime rate in D.C. What happened? The usual suspect who came out and complained. People who do not live in these Black neighborhoods. White liberal women, and the clowns on CNN and MSNBC. Those rich millionaires who get in their cars when they finish doing their report. They get in their cars and they go to the suburbs outside of D.C. They live a lovely life. They do not live in these up neighborhoods with these youngins acting a damn fool. These youngins are terrorizing older people like myself. We want them out because the mothers are nowhere to be found. The mothers drop these little bad ones off. They drop these 12, 13, 14-year-old little bad little kids off, and they leave them.
I'm hearing something that's pretty disturbing from a lot of African Americans. Not all, not even most, but some. And that is you welcome Trump sending the Guard and police, heavily militarized police, into your communities, standing on your street corners. I'm a criminal defense lawyer and a civil rights lawyer, and I'm warning you, you don't want that. I can't count the number of African American men especially who we've represented that were charged with all sorts of felony charges just from their encounters with law enforcement. And sometimes those encounters became deadly. And quite often, the death was preventable. But when they come into our community, they come uptight. They come guns blazing. Many of them come and they're full of racism. Now, I know that some of you see a lot of crime in your vicinity, but I want to assure you again, crime is down and has been dropping dramatically since the 1990s.
Okay, so I remove him, and then, that particular clip of the Democrat there was a little bit longer, but he was basically saying that it's the pastors, Black pastors, they need to step up and, do something essentially. But for the most part, he's like, you do not want this, right? You do not want Trump to send in militarized police. Of course, all the things that he's seen. But then before that, y'all heard from the people who live there and say, we, live this, we experienced this. And I've seen a whole bunch of other clips. Now, obviously, there's other people out there saying, well, we don't want this or whatever the case is. And so I guess there's a little bit of a dilemma. Again, I don't live there, so I don't really have an opinion because I can't tell anybody how to feel or how not to feel. But there's a lot of people who don't hate the idea of crime. I guess what's left of it, right? Being something done about. Now, to his point, he's saying you don't want militarized police officers there, but it's like opposed to what? Now, listen, I'm not pro po at all, but opposed to what? As you know, some of them said, I think it was two of them on there that said they know of some kids, right? That were their lives were taken. And I actually forgot to put another clip of a sister on there, but she was saying she's not above the she doesn't hate the idea either. She basically says y'all need to be quiet. Y'all don't live here, right? We are dealing with this. So it's like, I don't know, you pick your poison, you have police there, or the military essentially, because the National Guard's there, or I guess what's been going on. So I want to hear from y'all. Do you hate the idea? Like, what's your opinions? Are these people who live there, are they wrong for saying, hey, we don't mind that Trump is sending in, essentially they're saying help. Some people are saying it's not help. But I guess the opinion that I do have is, again, when the Democrats were there, I mean, I don't know. I guess they didn't think there was a problem, right? They didn't think, or they think, as he said, oh, since the 90s, it's the lowest it's been since the 90s. But as the young kids said there, it's like, just because it's going down, that don't mean it ain't here, So I don't know. I'm just wondering why they didn't do something about it, because clearly if Trump could do something about it, then that means that there was something that could be done. Now, we don't maybe necessarily agree with what he's doing, but if he's getting something done, and I'm going to say this, and I said this yesterday on yesterday's show, this is going to be a huge black eye to the Democrats. Because if he get in there, however he's doing it, and it's probably going to be austere, which means harsh, right? If he gets in there and he does something, why couldn't the Democrats do something? So anyway, I'm going to get into the comment section because I see a lot of y'all have comments. Let's see, going all the way to, nope, I don't need to go that far. Hold on one second. Oh, thank you, King Charles. About my teeth. Dr. J.H. Irons, how you doing? It says martial law. Well, that's what some people are saying. It's martial law. I don't know really if that's what it is. We know that the National Guards are gone there. So some people may say it's martial law time. I don't know. Stephen James says, I wonder if he's going to do Baltimore. Well, yeah, he did say that during the press conference that he had. He says, basically, the other cities need to be taking notes, and they should be basically trying to fix the problem before he gets there. But he has entertained, because he brought up, I think, Chicago, Los Angeles, and some other ones, which is why a lot of people are saying, oh, he's attacking the black cities that are ran by the Democrats, and most of them are women, right? I've heard that narrative. BLM is coming out with that narrative that he's attacking the cities with black women mayors first. So, Easy E, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Diane, what's going on with you? Lynn, how you doing? Says, why wasn't this issue being addressed before Trump took action? Either way, we need to handle business on our end and demand more from our two liberal politicians. Absolutely. Because I think when we think about Trump going in there with the National Guards and all that other stuff, in a sense, and this brother who's was talking about the ones that get off of CNN and they go into these, these neighborhoods that they don't see the problem. But basically, he's saying they're sitting on CNN and talk about, oh, what's wrong? Then they'll drive right past that to go to their gated community, right? But we forget that there are black people who live there too, right? You think about it. Most people are thinking about these lily white women or these white people. Oh, they're so afraid to go to Washington because of the crime. But it's like it's black people who are probably more victims of whatever it is that's going on than anybody, right? So they deserve to live in a safe environment as well. I saw a news report today. It was a lady in Maryland. She's an older lady, like 87 years old. She was at the cemetery with her husband. No, she's like 79. At that cemetery with her husband, they were visiting the grave of their late son. And while they were visiting the grave, somebody broke into her car and stole it and took everything that was in it. So I was like, come on now. She deserves to be safe. Now, I know it's not D.C., but close enough. Anyway. Let's see. And Juggernaut says Epstein distraction. That's what a lot of people are saying. Brother Damon, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Sonya, what's up? He says BS, they want to move the blacks out of DC. I think it's wrong. I mean, that could be the case. That's what I understand. DC is chocolate city, right? So they probably have a long way to go. It's about 45% black. So that'll take them a while to do that. I don't know exactly what the motive is, but right now we're just kind of talking about the people who live there and saying, nah, we don't have a problem with it because we want to feel safe. I mean, the young brother said he knows heard about 4 babies, 4 children being shot. Should not be a child being shot, but as somebody else said too, why are we more mad about Trump going in there with the National Guards than we are about people losing their lives due to violence? That's something we really have to ponder, right? Bernard, how you doing? Says a lot of YN causing problems in DC, period. Maryland, okay. Cynthia, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Aaron, he says the interesting thing is that when the Democrats had the opportunity to make changes, they didn't. So now that when Trump and his administration take over, they complain, shaking my head. Yeah, it's like regardless of who's doing it, somebody should do something about the crime, no matter how bad it is. It's still a problem. It needs to be dealt with, and it really even shouldn't be a partisan thing. Right now, again, we know that Trump really took action because that white guy, the former Doge employee, he got jumped on, so they say, right? So that's when that was like the last straw, I guess. So yeah. Honey Brown Sugar, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Carrie, what's going on with you? African Native says it is the rollout of conspiracy theory whispered for decades. Okay. GM South, how you doing? Says FBI about to get their own crime bill again. Really? And Brother Reggie says if someone beat you up 10 times last year, but come on now, but 8 times this year, technically the beatings are still down 20%. But is that a great statistic? No. I love that. You're absolutely right, because that's basically what they're saying. Well, he got beat up a little bit, but it's getting better. You might get beat up tomorrow, but you might not get beat up the next day, but it's getting better. Good example. Kevin said, Dimitri, did you see the DOJ employee? Yes, I did. Who hit the government agent from ICE with a Subway sandwich? Who lost his job, was also arrested and charged with a felony in DC. Yeah, I saw that. I didn't expect for him to be an employee, federal employee, but I guess Pam Bondi was like, we don't care. You're going to pay for putting your sandwich, on the officer or whatever. But yeah, Jesus saves. How you doing? Says Dimitri panders to Trump so much. Whatever. Laura, he says, why ain't that lawyer fighting for reparations? Good question. The real Miss Blue, how you doing? Says the FBA neighborhoods are already terrorized. Damon Reeves by us talking to Damon. Said by FBA speaking as an Oakland resident. And you're from Oakland, California, right? They got their own set of issues. G Code, how you doing? Thank you so much. How you doing? Cynthia says, I have friends who live in DC, and for years they have always complained about horrible crime in Washington, especially in the black neighborhoods. And that's what a lot of people are saying. Like I said, I spent some time on TikTok, and they were saying, there's certain places in Washington, but they say specifically it's the black neighborhoods, right? So, because they're saying, I feel safe if I'm going in other places of DC, but in the black neighborhoods, yeah, not so much. So again, I don't live there. I'm just telling you the testimonies I've seen. Sonia says, lately I feel the same way. When he is starting to mess with the black communities, I agree crime is high in our neighborhoods. Yeah, but we shouldn't need a white man to get our kids under the control. That part, we should be doing it. You are 1,000% right. 1,000% right. You say crime is dropping. He is right. Yeah, but as Reggie said, it's still there, right? Javon, how you doing? Says Southeast DC off the chains. So yeah, it's a lot of people are saying in certain areas, right? Flashback, how you doing? He said it's a cover up for a manhunt of a black alien that blended in to the black community of that area. The aliens are coming. Look Black American. They look Black American. I still need to look into that. I've been hearing a lot about it. Maybe I'll do it tonight as I'm going to sleep. Maybe I shouldn't do it when I'm going to sleep. I don't want to have nightmares, but I will look it up because I like studying about aliens and things like that. Third grade gamer, how you doing? Said, what is the difference between this and when DC mayor deployed National Guards in '94? Good question. Very good question. Bernard, he says they will have law and order in DC, period. Yeah, and it sounds like, they're going to have it everywhere else. I mean, I don't know. I've always said, especially in the inner cities, that is city-sanctioned genocide. They know all that is going on. They know there's things that they can do to fix it. They just don't want to. They don't want to. A lot of those neighborhoods are devoid of any resources, especially ones, that would help with that, right? Kids need something to do. Employment is, I don't know, unless you want to work at Popeyes or something, but you can't work at places like that and take care of yourself, right? So there's things that they let them folks live. They don't have those issues. They have all the Whole Foods and, all the things that they need, but in our neighborhoods, it's dilapidated and devoided. So yeah, Cloudless, how you doing? Don't believe media was up. I hope you're doing well. Let's see. Let me skip down just a little bit. Jesus saves. You better behave yourself, or you don't need Jesus to save you from me blocking you. Francine, it says Trump deranged syndrome is real. Okay. Sherry, how you doing? Says, well, if they like it, I love it. He needs to make sure to send them to Los Angeles and also to Chicago because the illegals are out of control. They're doing stuff too. Yeah. Well, I don't think it's a secret that that they are definitely dealing with that. They being ICE illegal immigrants. Some of them were other things, but they said most of them were illegal immigrants. So, yeah. Mad Dog says, I know they're not wrong. Some people are just blind by the Boule Democrat plantation and Negroes. You said it, I did not. Charmaine, how you doing? So this is how Biden crime bill got started. Absolutely. It's exactly how it got started. But again, it got started under the Democrats, right? Biden has some crime bills, and then, with the Clinton hard enough in the paint, you need to go a little bit harder, right? So, yeah. There, I was listening to Neely Fuller Jr. this morning, RIP to him. And he was asked a question about white supremacy in relation to Black people. And he basically said white supremacy needs Black people to continue justifying the things that they want to do. And then they can't, go on with like making crime bills and things like that, right? So, for example, when Biden stood up there and said, well, they're going to be knocking our moms and kids in the heads and snatching purses, and Hillary talking about their super predators and they need to be made to heal. See, that's white supremacy, using Black people basically to get the stuff that they want, right? But that's nothing new. They always demonize Black people to get what they want, and usually that harms us. But at the end of the day, don't you ever forget that they all got some sort of interest in these prisons, okay? If you know, that's a different story, though. Chuck, how you doing? Says, I live in a DMV, Temple Hill, Maryland. Says, I even like going into DC crime, I think youth. Yes, and I've seen a lot of people say that. Lock Vegan, how you doing? Says Dimitri, you have the, well, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Today's wash day. Thank you. Thank you so much, Cynthia. I love and appreciate you for that. It says, my little city Flint is off the chain as well. So therefore, I am backing President Trump on this issue. Now, wouldn't that be nice if he go over there and, after he's done with National Guarding everywhere and go fix the water? That was done, under the Democrats' watch. Obama was in office when they decided to give y'all that nasty water that he went over there and drank and said, oh, it's good. Yeah, right. But thank you once again. Brother Samuel's situation to get so, a situation to get so bad that the patient calls for the procedure their medical professional intended in the beginning for you to choose. Absolutely. And AWS 21st, how you doing? Says Democrats establishment want to keep 80% of Black people. It's doing again. I'm not agreeing with everything that he's doing, but that's another way for him to say, look what he's doing. He's going in the Black neighborhood. It's like what y'all should have went in there. If you didn't like the way Trump is doing it, then you should have went in there a different way, to help people who live there, right? Keep it in mind. Let's say you don't care about nobody else that live there. What about the Black people that live there, that pay taxes, and everyday citizens that just want to be able to go outside? Why didn't the Democrats go in there and do it their way? They have a Black mayor. They gave Black people Black Lives Matter. Was it square, whatever, with the street was painted Black Lives Matter? That's what Black people got. But crime has dropped, though, 35%. I don't know. Kimmy, how you doing? Says he needs to go to Memphis next. Yeah, see, but people don't want to have those conversations. And Memphis is out of control. Detroit, all of them out of control. And those, they have black Democrat leadership, but nobody wants to talk about that. Now they're mad, but they should have beat them to it. Alex, how you doing? You says Democrats are too busy helping the immigrants and LGBTQ. Yeah, and this is just another like carrots for them to dangle and say, "Oh, look, Black Americans, see, y'all was talking about y'all was gonna stay home and y'all it ain't y'all problem, but now y'all next." It's like, well, a lot of people saying, "Yeah, come on and do what you need to do," because I'm tired of living like this, right? Again, I don't live there. I'm just telling you what I heard. Brother Reddy says, if Trump gets crime down and decriminalize weed, the Dems won't win anything ever again. I totally agree with you because they should have done this. Right? This will be a black eye. If he goes in there and there's a big difference and it's not, he does it without doing what we hope he doesn't do, right? Cracking skulls and all that other nonsense. Yeah, it's going to be hard for them to bounce back. JM, says we have problems in our neighborhood and it needs to be handled, but I don't trust Trump or the U.S. government. No, I totally agree with you, but it needs to be handled. It does. All right, let me skip down just a little bit. Tracy, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Who else came on here that I did not see? And Diane, I didn't read a comment from you. It says white women are not afraid of our black men and they wouldn't be trying to be under, and your comment cut off. So maybe I'll catch it. LaShonda, how you doing? Is my microphone going out? Is my microphone going out? Okay, hold on a second. Hold on 1 second. I don't know why it's doing that, but give me 1 second. Hold up. Is that better? So I'll go all the way to the bottom, y'all, because I want to make sure my mic is good. Sorry about that. Lemon Delight, how you doing? Angela, what's going on with you? Albert, how you doing? And again, sorry, y'all, about my mic. I just took it off, so hopefully y'all can see me. Hold on, I'm just going all the way to the bottom so I can see if it sounds better. Oops. Thank you so much, love and appreciate you. You said, okay, so yeah, I'm sorry about the mic. I don't know why I was doing that. I took it off. So you guys will tell me if it sounds better. King Shaw, Sweet Butter, what's going on with you? Hold on. Going all the way to the bottom. Hey, Rodney, how you doing? Don't mean to skip everybody, but I want to make sure that, okay, so y'all saying it's better. Okay, yeah, I hate microphones. I'm using my computer mic right now. But I hate the way it sounds, but it's better than nothing, right? So thank you. And sorry about that, y'all. Sorry. Okay, sorry. Okay, so starting over, sorry. Brother Salmon says, Minister Farrakhan quotes the Bible where it says the people would be bitten with fiery serpents or angry. Skipped up. Hold on a second. Angry white men. I also feel a lecture that's relevant is justifiable homicide, Black youth in peril. So is that something that can be found on YouTube? So it says Black youth in peril, justifiable homicide, Black youth in peril. Okay. Sorry about that. I hate when I have issues. Asarte, what's going on with you? Says the corporate prison system is losing money because the crime rate has gone down in most cities. Yeah, and they don't want that, right? So if you are able to connect the dots, then you know, right? They don't want the crime rate to go down. Again, if you study about prisons being privatized, then you know they have to guarantee a return on an investment to their investors. Private prisons have investors, and they say, great, I'm going to invest in that prison, but what's the guarantee, the ROI, right? What's the return on investment? Because I'm not going to be giving money away for nothing. And they say, oh, don't you worry, Mr. or Mrs. Investor. I'm going to make sure that the beds are 90% full, that the prisons are 90% occupied. And that way, that's going to guarantee you not only your money that you invested, but you're going to get, some more on top of that. So how do you do that? You violate people who are on parole, or somebody's in there for something minor, and then you ever talk to them, they'll say, yeah, I originally went in there for, I don't know, something minor, and 10 years later, I'm in here. I was only doing 2 years, and I'm in here 10 years. How's that? because I kept getting violated. I kept getting write-ups, you know, and they was making things major, right? So they find ways of keeping people in there. And we've always known about the school to prison pipeline. So the younger that they can get them, and that's why you hear Trump talk about this life stuff. Oh, they're going to stand in for life. And Pam Bondi, they're going to stand here for life. Because that way we get them when they're young. They'll live, depending if they don't get, you know, in prison, they'll live a long time. And that bed is always going to be full for the rest of their life from the age of 14, a baby, essentially, right? And they don't get out. So this is why we got to start having these conversations with our children as well and letting them know it ain't about you really just going out there and the days of you just get that, don't do it again. Nah, they try to trump up, no pun intended, right? They try to trump up some stuff on you to keep you in there and try you as an adult, which means you don't go to juvenile hall. You don't go to the juvenile prison. You go straight to prison with grown men. And you'll have a horrible life, right? And they'll probably take something from you don't want to give, while the investors on the outside are saying, well, thank you so much. Keep them in there as long as you can. Yeah, you know. But again, if the Democrats are worried about that, why didn't they fix it? You know why they ain't worried about it? Because they also making $1 as well. So if you know, you know. Anyway, Freddie, how you doing? You say, Tracy, stick to the PC mic. It's fine. Okay. Will do. Sorry about that. Joe, how you doing? Brew, what's going on? He says, I can hear you the entire time. Okay, so yes, it was just kind of going out. Sweet Butter says, Dems been playing us the whole time. Nancy Pelosi, private prisons. Yeah, but again, how many of us are really paying attention? Like, how many of us will hear something and then maybe log off and say, let me go research that. Let me see if that's true. Because I don't know about that. They know we won't do that. Your Rollins, your Joys, and this cat here, the defiant lawyer, and all these other people, they're very sure of what they're saying and the propaganda that they're spreading, because they know that their audience take their word as gospel. It's the same thing when you go to church. Most pastors know you won't read it because my pastor ain't gonna lie to me. My pastor know what he's talking about. It sounds so good, and he this, that, and the other. But it tells you, I think it's 2 Timothy 2:15. It says, study to show thyself approved, rightfully dividing the word of truth, and some other stuff. But it's basically telling you, study for yourself. Make sure that's true for yourself. Don't just go and listen to your pastor. Nowadays, pastors don't even have no Bible. They just up there rambling and people going nuts. But just like the pastors and the Democrats and politicians in general, they know we won't go see for ourselves. Well, I heard Roland saying, Roland do be saying what he be knowing what he talking about. Okay. Jupiter, Sister Shirley, what's going on with you? Jupiter says, hey, Demetra, you got your old spiritual, the defiant lawyer mad and calling y'all out as pro-black imposters. We ain't worried about him. You know why we ain't worried about him? Because we're just not. He's part of the establishment. He's part of the status quo. He's got a job to do to keep black people on the plantation. My thing is, y'all know here, I want to do both sides of the story. That's kind of what I like to do here, is do both sides of the story. Okay, great. Defiant lawyer, I can concede that, yeah, it's not good to have police around black people because they be doing too much, right? But the other side of the conversation, the other story he should be telling is, well, we should be checking our people first. And since we love the Democrats, then why don't we ask the Democrats, hey, you want us to elect you, then you do something about the crime. Y'all make sure that the white side of town looks good and it's, low crime, but the black side of town is the complete opposite. See, you got to tell the whole story. Don't just say Trump going in there, he's going to be busting heads with the police and not talk about why, and not listening to these other people in there talking about, well, we need that. Yes, austere is a last resort, but damn, what else? I'm going to walk outside and have one of these little kids who need something to do something to me because I'm trying to, be a Democrat. Like, it doesn't, none of this makes sense. Unicorn, how you doing? Says Democrats don't want nothing but chaos in the black communities. Red Planet, how you doing? Says y'all are supporting a Klansman. Shaking my hand. Who is this y'all? And which Klansman are you talking about? You talking about the one that just left the White House or the one that's in there now? Which one are you talking about? See, I need you to get out your feelings. See, this is what happens when you in your feelings. You can't think. You acting like Joanne Kamala, who was sleeping with a white man. So y'all have a problem with that, but that ain't my business. Y'all don't have a problem when they putting on their hood. See, the problem is with the Democrats, they take their hoods off and put it in the closet, but they still do Klan stuff. The Republicans, they go out in public with their Klan hood on. That's the only difference between them. Their actions are the same in regards to black people. But yet y'all so emotional. All y'all care about, well, the Democrats say they like black people, and Trump, we know they don't like, none of them like black people. They all the Klan, in case you didn't know. JJ, how you doing? If I didn't say hello, he says modern day black codes. Yep. Roz, how you doing? He says, I wish we could police our own communities. Can't trust white people. They criminalize everything we do. Yeah, but we should be doing that. Because there was a time where we did police our own communities, right? You heard somebody was getting out of line. The men said, okay, we ride at dawn. We go find this joker or whatever it is, right? And the women, they got together and say, okay, this is what needs to be done to make sure these children are acting this way and that way, right? We don't have the village anymore. We don't police ourselves anymore. We need to get back to that. But you know why we don't? Because we in our feelings. I don't want nobody saying nothing to my child, and I just don't like how you speak it to my child. Man, sometimes we got to learn to just be quiet. Sartre says, that's right. And Trump is a businessman, not a good one, but nevertheless, yeah, and that's all he cares about. He cares about the money. He don't care about none of this other stuff. He get money, right? Off the American people and everybody else. King Shaw says Biden spent money from the 94 crime bill instead of giving FBA's tangibles. And then he got into office in 2000 and didn't do nothing for black Americans at all. Van says America is done really. Yeah, I'd say so. Child of God, how you doing? Don, he says, doesn't this dude have 34 felony convictions? He does. They all convicts. The forefathers, all of them convicts. But the other problem, though, Brother Don, is how did he get back in office with 34 felonies? Might the other side of the story be that the Democrats was so bad that a felon got back in office that was impeached 2 times? See, that's an indictment on the Democrats. That somebody like that, a miscreant, from what people are saying, and I'll buy it, a miscreant got back in office. Was it because the Democrats were doing a great job? I mean, we have to be honest. Is it because people, the majority of voters loved what they were doing? Clearly, that wasn't the case because he got back in the office. He had the most votes in the, the popular vote, and then he had the most electoral college. So that's the other side of the conversation, right? All right, Sarah, let's see. Mike Lewis, how you doing? And Cynthia says the prisons are making money off our young men, but Democrats would rather keep illegal immigration out of the system. Never will. I'll vote blue. Now, come on now. You said a word right there, sis. They don't want the illegal immigrants to go to prison, but they all right with your black self going. They all right with that. Diane says Farrakhan has been warning our black men and youth in Chicago before the pandemic, and he was inviting them into the mosque. Yep. And we're seeing all the stuff come to fruition. Tracy says, I look stuff up all the minute I hear it. Sad part, most don't listen. Nah, it sounds good to me. Sister Shirley says, how many times are we going to be bamboozled and hoodwinked by the Democrat Party? There's some people who want to be hoodwinked, and I'm not saying, that the other side, the Republicans, aren't bad. They are bad, but none of them have done black Americans any good, never, not one time, right? We got to stop being under the illusion that, everything's good. If we just get the Democrats back in there, we'll be all right. To me, if you get people in there that's got common sense, regardless of what side of the aisle they sit on, then the people will be better served. But right now, you got the Democrats fighting with the Republicans, and it's just a lot, and the people are suffering. So, yeah, I heard wholesale goods, or as I said, inflation in regards to wholesale goods went up a lot. I don't remember the percentage, but it went up a lot. So when wholesale goods go up, that trickles down. Child of God said that's why it's time to go. We can do way better outside of this country. There are more blacks in Central and South America than the U.S. That is actually absolutely true. Let's see, who else haven't I seen? Tuesday Johnson, how you doing? Says my sister lives in D.C. since 1986. She's glad Trump is cleaning up the streets. Yeah, but to that, there's people who will be like, well, she shouldn't be wanting Trump. She lives there. Your sister deserves to walk outside or be able to walk about it without, thinking somebody gonna do something to her. And again, those kids, they're just wayward, right? And I know it's a little bit more too, but they need something to do. They need something to do. All that money they got going in and out of these inner cities, but they don't go in and out of the inner cities. They go over the inner cities and then they go to the other parts of town. But there should be something for them to do. Like when we was coming up, right? I'm 54. And I remember doing a lot of stuff. And my parents didn't have to pay for a lot of it because it was at the Boys and Girls Club, and things like that. Now, what are they doing? And their parents need their understanding rearranged as well. Brother Reddy says private prisons, two of the largest companies in the industry are Core Civic, formerly Corrections Corporation of America, and Geo Group. Yes, I've heard of both of them. Yeah. And then, of course, they tried to say, oh, there's no such thing as private prisons. The government is not giving money to private prisons. Oh, yes, they are. There's a middleman. So it's not going directly from the government to these private prisons. It's going from the government to these other little middlemen, and then they're funneling it to the private prisons. So, yes. S. Rich, how you doing? Says if he doesn't do something about it, who will? Too many young children being killed in Detroit. Yeah. And isn't Detroit like the number one city as far as crime is concerned, if I'm not mistaken? I could be wrong. King Shaw says Dr. Umar might have to talk to the youth in DC areas and talk to somebody, right? Zenobia says you don't know what the pastor is saying, and people don't. They just, it sure was good today, child. That was you got to come with me to church next week. And then you ask her, well, what is he talking about? But it sounded good though. Tracy, you crazy talking about Umar. Mikey says, Demetra, the sad truth about a lot of our people is that we can be extremely stubborn and know it's all. This is how so many negative things have plagued us for years. Is sickening, in my opinion. Absolutely. I don't know why my throat is dry, but it is. Bernard, he says, I'm 59 now. When I was in church at 10 years old, I heard a pastor say politics and church don't mix. And now it's mixing illegally, right? There's going to be some endorsements coming to a church near you. Meshka, how you doing? Says 2 words that can dispel a lie. Just prove it. There you go. As they say in the nation, is not what you know, is what you can prove. Sweet Butters, you say criminal immigrants, 13th Amendment prison, farms. And it says C. So was that like marijuana plants? Beats by Dizzy, how you doing? Says the YNs are out of control everywhere. Yeah, and that's like one of the guys said on the video that I showed. He said they mamas don't know where they at. They just doing whatever they want, right? And, mamas and daddies, because they came out of somewhere. The mama is not Virgin Mary, right? So they had a daddy. So they parents, their grandma, somebody need to get a hold of them, because the minute Trump get a hold of them, then people going to lose their minds. It's like, well, you should have got your kids out the streets, right? Find them something to do. Busy them. Jet Blast, he says, it's all about control. Don't believe media. He says, Umar taking L's for a while, Pan-African hustling. Yeah, his business is not doing well. Sounds like they want to take it. Levon, how you doing? Says, if you let a person talk long enough, they will tell you who they are every time. You ain't lying. You ain't lying. Pam Jamin says, Benny Johnson recommends bulldozing whole Black communities in D.C. What the F? Yeah, that's some right-wing conservative dude. And he was at one of these press conferences, and he was talking about how he was, jacked or whatever by one of these thugs and all that. But that's unfortunately who Trump surrounds himself with, people like that. And he's not that old, but they have to be careful because God is not asleep, right? And a lot of people, including the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, believe that Trump had to happen, right? Because now we're starting to see these people aren't even hiding how they feel, right? But God is not asleep. These people are evil. And if you ever doubted they were evil, evilness is on full display as we speak. But he and his people don't have the final say so about us. If it was up to them, we would have all been bulldozed a long time ago. But guess what? We're God's chosen people, and we ain't going no damn where, whether he like it or not. He just going to have to suffer. So, yeah. Sonia says, who cares about Umar? We need to trying to save our own kids. Yeah. Umar, it sounds like he got some issues with his own kids, right? So, yeah, it's our job. If you hold on, where I like to do this illustration. Okay. If you laid down and you did this and you made a baby, yeah, that's your responsibility. That's your responsibility to make sure your child is doing what it's supposed to be doing. It's not anybody else's. Now, of course, you'll have people that'll come in and help and this, that, and the other, but that's your job. So yeah, you're absolutely right. Yeah, King Shaw, both are Klansmen, Democrats and Republicans. You say Tube Johnson, Trump isn't a Klansman. What the hell? Well, how do you know he's not? How do we know? He sure is, sounded like one. Philip, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. I'm so behind these comments, and I don't mean to be. Kimmy says it won't happen. The men co-signing the BS now. A golf twiddler. Your name is kind of is weird, but I get where you're going. It says the black white nationals of MAGA, nationalists of MAGA, and who was that? Aaron said the Democrat Party just found a way to use and profit off of us while at the same time hating us. They always do. All of them do. Cynthia says, my thoughts exactly. I expressed that. Why aren't the Democrats leaders who want our votes addressing crimes within the black communities? Because they're making a buck off of it too. If you solve a problem, then that person that you solved the problem for won't need you anymore. So if we always have a problem, then they'll always need us. They'll always need us to show up and say, oh, we're going to do something about the crime. We're going to make sure we do this, that, and the other. And they don't do anything about it, right? And then when they need time to be reelected again, it's like, I'm going to do something about it. So if they solve the problem, then what do we need them for, right? So yeah, that's kind of what it is. All right, let me skip down. I know I'm so behind. HXYCDSA, how you doing? Said the only people that were protesting in DC were immigrants. Really? Brian, how you doing? Said Demetrius, some cities have gun violence every day. Yes, every day. And if somebody could get rid of that, I don't see the problem. I don't know. Tracy says racism got him back in office, and Kamala, dishonesty of who she is and nonsense kept her out. Yeah. So, but again, the man with all that going on, and he got back in the office the way he did. To me, that was a slap on both sides of the face to the Democrats, right? All right. So I see I'm terribly behind. Mahali, he says my father was a juvenile policeman. He would take a child to his parents first and try to set them straight before they get a record back in the 60s and 70s. Yeah, now that's good policing, because a lot of those children he probably took to their parents probably didn't end up in the system, right? We need that again, but it's an opportunity. Oh, they acting up, arrest them, trump up some charges. We know more than likely that people ain't got no money to fight these charges. They'll do some time. We'll run it through the system, There's a movie on Netflix. I was going to watch it, but then I was like, no, I ain't going to watch it because it's going to make me sad. I forget the name of it, but it's a documentary about a guy who was 15, is doing a life sentence when he went to prison, and he's in a hole. So solitary confinement. And I was like, nah, I can't watch it because it's going to make me sad. It's going to ruin my day because I hate to hear about any kids, going to prison for life, unless it's something just unforgivable. Terrell, how you doing? Says private prisons are getting paid. Yep. And they need your children, not yours, but our children in there to make sure they keep getting paid. Maxine, how you doing? Says these politicians that are African and Caribbean descendants are not representing or supporting Black Americans, never have. They are loyal to their country and their people. Yep. There's another lady in Virginia Commonwealth. She's running to be governor. And she's from Jamaica. I think she's from Jamaica. And, she's a conservative. She talking that tough on crime, and she loves Trump and all that other stuff. It's like, yikes. Because that's a bad combination, right? Derek, how you doing? Says, just a boot camp tour of guys, just chill, but be cool, do your thing, cook out, have peace in the streets, traffic guard. Yeah. We need to get back to that, but not knowing where your children are, that ain't going to get it. Mad Dog says ignorance and stupidity is the reason why Trump is back in office, but it is what it is. Yeah, well, ignorance, stupidity, and the Democrats. There's an indictment on them with all the foolishness, right? And even to this day, I saw a poll that said almost 80% of Americans are all right with what's going on with immigration. They're okay with the mass deportations. Almost 80% of Americans polled are okay with that. Even though it's austere, most people are like, okay, well, we're okay with the mass deportation. So, but Kamala wasn't. They were okay with the mass immigration. So there you have it. Let me skip down a little bit so I could catch up, you guys. Avenge the Ancestors, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Let's see, J. Eric, how you doing? Says we used to have summer jobs, shop classes in high school, community sports leagues, etc. We need to bring these back. Yep. New, how you doing? Says, do Black Americans know that it is a white hat acting as Trump because y'all are getting worked up over nothing? So you say a white hat, you mean like the Klan? That doesn't surprise me. Maxine, thank you so much. Love and appreciate you. Says these Democrat politicians don't represent or support Black Americans and never have. They are loyal to their country and their people. Yep. And who is their people, right? It ain't us. But thank you once again. Earth, Ocean, Moon, what's going on? It says, I wish the youth would go back to handling disputes with fist fights, but nowadays everyone is scared to get they whooped, right? Yeah, they all carrying guns. It's like, man, I know there's, they say there's more guns in America than there are people. So guns, I imagine, are everywhere, but they getting a hold of these guns and they just shooting them willy-nilly. I saw one like a month ago, a video, I think it was in Chicago, if I'm not mistaken. And they were just spraying. It was like a house party, just spraying. People, a couple of the party goers got killed and, shot and everything, but they're just shooting. Just indiscriminately, just shooting. And these ain't no pew, pew, pew. These are brrr type of guns. So that's crazy. You know what, Brother Reggie? You wilding for that. FDMG family, the money gone. You better stop. Black Wolf, how you doing? Oh, you ain't right. So Young, how you doing? It says, I live in Washington, D.C. I have not seen them in my neighborhood. I live in the southeast end right off of Capitol Hill. So I saw somebody else mention that neighborhood. Is it good or is it it has some issues? Chuck says, we had a case here in D.C. last year. I think 3 young girls ages range from 14 to 16 beat a 64-year-old special needs man to death. And when asked why they did it, it was because they were bored. Yeah, I've seen a few stories like that. Was it Washington? Somewhere where the Uber driver got carjacked and the girls tried to take off in the car and he got smashed by the car because, he's like, I don't need y'all trying to take off my car. I'm making a living, right? And I think he ended up getting killed. And they were like 14, 15, 13 girls. King Charles says, I'm not saying it's right what's going on in D.C., but when you limited the resources and opportunities in the Black community and put guns and drugs in our community, what do you think is going to happen? And it's all by design. So you're 1,000% right. Herschel, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Simon, what's going on with you? He says, Simon, rather. He says, God isn't asleep. If you can't see the evil in our Black people, shaking our head. Well, it's evil everywhere, right? But especially these powers that be, oh, yeah, they rearing their ugly head, but their time is up. Brenda, how you doing? Says, crime is rampant here in Philly, too. Trump need to come here. See, you got people saying, we need somebody to come do something. Billy, how you doing? Says that's a dumb title to put unless it's sarcasm. Why thanking Trump rather than accusing South African president of so-called white genocide while buddy with Israel president who's actually doing it? Huh? Did I miss something? How you doing anyway? Jacoby, how you doing? Michelle, it says love the plug demonstration. Education is key. How you doing? Just skipping down to everybody I have not seen. Roger says, I agree with the minister that Trump had to happen. I've been hearing different spiritual and financial people say the same thing, but for various reasons. Yep, for various reasons. especially with the Democrats. And just from my opinion, Black people are going to be rocked into a deeper sleep, right? If Kamala would have got in there, oh my God, everything is great now. Is it? You know, she still wasn't talking about no reparations for Black Americans. Jamal, how you doing? Says the apple didn't fall far from the tree. It's been reported that Trump Daddy was a part of or participant in white supremacy organization. Yes, it has been reported. How true it is, I don't know, but I have seen a lot of reports. Him and his mama, or his daddy and his mama. Oh, thank you, Cynthia. I appreciate that. Thank you, thank you. I try to drink lots of water. Who else haven't I seen on here? Dennis, you says the Black citizens who live in these neighborhoods are asking for more consequences for out of control shootings. Well, I guess it's more or less like pick your poison, right? Pick your poison. We don't want the police in our neighborhoods, but man, hearing about babies getting shot and killed, I don't want to hear that either. I'd rather have a police officer in there than to hear about babies getting shot and killed. You know what I mean? They got to have some relief as well. And we should probably do something about that before that it gets to that point. FM, how you doing? Says Winsome Sears. Yes, that's her name. Winsome Sears running for governor of Virginia, a Jamaican person that's not Black American. Yeah, that's her. And I was listening to her. I said, oh yeah, she gonna get in there and really rock them, sock them to Black Americans, because she won for pro-Trump and she loves everything he's doing, and you know, all this, that, and the other. She is not doesn't have any ties to Black America. So yeah, she gonna get in there and do the absolute most, and we're gonna pay for that. Tahi, how you doing? Says, yes, this country is about the money, all about the money. It always has been, right? G, how you doing? Says, you really have to understand that a lot of kids are in state custody and foster homes and placements. That is true. That is absolutely true. And unfortunately, for to understand, that disproportionately affects our children. So we got a lot of work to do, right? They don't have a problem with taking our children and running them through the system. It's horrible. It's horrible. So yeah, this is more of a case for us to step up and do what we got to do. Because yeah, we don't want the police in our community, you know, but we don't want to hear about people getting harmed and all the other adverse stuff. Is crazy. Undisputed Truth, how you doing? Says Trump say Black America from the immigrant. Trump say DC from the violent thugs. Trump fights like hell for Black Americans. Well, I don't know if he's fighting for Black Americans necessarily, because again, you know, when that white guy got beat up, so they say that's when he was like, oh, hell no, type of thing, right? I didn't really see him raising the roof when Black people were getting beat up. So, Brandon, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. FBA Queen, what's up? Says the 10 most dangerous cities in the U.S. For 2024. Okay, so Memphis, Tacoma, Washington. That's odd. Pueblo, Colorado, Oakland, St. Louis, Little Rock, Detroit, Denver, Minneapolis, and Kansas City, Missouri. Okay, interesting. Yeah, but I heard it's really bad in Memphis. Mal Bet, how you doing? Says that shooting was here in Philly. Okay. Sonia says, oh, he said the Klan or small hats. AW, how you doing? Says the inner cities don't need it. Why does tragedy have to land on one's doorstep before doing something? How many of our children have to be sacrificed? Trump is safe. Trump's family is safe. You ask a great question, but I guess we're not supposed to ask that. We're supposed to just, you know, pretend like that's not an issue. MC Fact, how you doing? Says, don't lurk. Let's get to work. Okay, hit the like button. Well, thank you so much for that. I didn't realize that many people were in the chat. Hello. No wonder why there's so many comments in here. I'm trying to get to the bottom before I get out of here. Simo, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Okay, now I got to just acknowledge everybody that I have not seen, as I will not be here tomorrow again unless something major happens. Joe, how you doing? Said them youngsters should know if they can't do the time, don't do the crime. Beretta. No, I'm just playing. That's all I can say. Absolutely. Yes, they need more mentorship. They need something to do. I do see all of your comments. Just want to, I got to the bottom. Beverly, how you doing? I'm glad that you made it. I'm about to get out of here, Reggie. How you doing? Said the mayor of Philly talking BS about crime down. However, the statistic don't apply to all victims, right? Like Brother Reggie said, he said it perfectly. Says, you know, if crime is down 20%, there's still 80% crime, right? So somebody is being affected by that. But listen, I love and appreciate every last one of y'all. I will be back here Sunday with Donovan at 5 p.m. Central Time. In the meantime, you have a great rest of your day. And if something happens, I'll be back here tomorrow. Peace.